Obama. I've been watching a lot of news today, and I've been watching all these experts talk about Syria, talk about what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and it's kind of made me sick to my stomach. A lot of people don't care. A lot of people have no idea where Syria is. They don't know what's going on there. A lot of people do care, though, and I think that you need to hear from an average American. I'm a father of two. I have a wife, hardworking. I work 40, 50 hours a week. We come home, take care of kids. We're tired all the time. We pay our taxes, pay our bills, and we provide for our kids. We're happy. Um, uh, it's not like we live lavishly, but we're happy. We live. We provide for our own, and we make do with that. A lot of people in Syria can't say the same thing. A lot of people in Syria have been stuck for 2 years in a war where they're fighting over religious ideals, they're fighting over strict dictatorship, authoritarian rule, um, and the men, women, and children that are just cast aside, killed by the thousands. And after last week's gas attack, they're dying in horrible ways. And we've got to do something. We can't just sit back like Rwanda or Armenia. We can't just do nothing, because that wouldn't speak America's values. But also at the same time, we can't go in just bombing people because they crossed this red line that you presented. There's too many different factors at play there. We need your leadership. We need the president's leadership. We need a strong leader to step in and think with his head and not with emotion. There's a lot of these experts that are talking on the TV today that are, talking about the consequences of doing this, the consequences of doing that. I mean, you've been dealt a pretty shitty hand. I mean, in your first term and second term, your Congress has been split. You have a more polarized nation than ever before. There's hate everywhere. Everybody, defines themselves by who they voted for, what party they belong to, rather than as an American. It's a sad day, and you kind of got thrown into that. You promised a lot of things that didn't always happen, but that's not always your fault. But in the case of Syria, I don't think that bombing someone for peace or for humanitarian purposes is a good idea. We need a different objective. We need a solution. We need somebody that will go in there and do what a president is supposed to do. You have to get political. You have to be the spokesman for America and for the right, for good. A lot of the experts, like I said, have told you what's going to happen if you do or if you don't. But nobody's given a solution. Nobody said this is what we should do. This is how we should do it. Like I said, I'm just the average Joe. I work, take care of my family, and live. But I think that in a situation like this, we've tried talking before. Why not try again? There's only a few days left before the UN specialists get out and clear out of Syria, before I think that you're actually going to use those Patriot missiles that all these generals have been talking about. So it's time to talk a little bit. We know all the players here. We know all the players in the fight in Syria. We know that Russia has a lot of influence. We know that China has a lot of influence. We know all the players on the rebels side. We know Al Qaeda. We know that there's a lot of foreign fighters inside the country, which Assad's been saying he's been fighting terrorists the whole time. Well, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's go in and be the rational voice to people. Let's have them sit down, go to Russia, invite Assad up, tell the rebels to put down their arms, get Russia to tell Assad to put down his arms. Let's call a ceasefire, try to work out a plan. Maybe maybe if we offered to help him fight the terrorists that are causing havoc in his country, that are killing innocent civilians with suicide bombs, beheading people in the streets, killing people just because their religion's a little different, because they're Christian, because they're Alawite, Shiite, Sunni, whatever. Let's fight those people that are killing indiscriminately. Maybe if we help him do that and say that these are our terms, find out who used the chemical weapons, and let's make sure nobody else uses them. Let's get him to stockpile them and get them out of his country. Send them to Russia, send them to America. There they can be disarmed and correctly disposed of. Offer to have a joint U.S.-Russian special forces go in and fight as terrorists that are in the country. If the rebels put down their arms and Assad puts down on his arms, let's help them fight the terrorists, the foreign fighters that are just there to spread their religion, to force their religion over people. Let's fight those people. Let's keep those chemical weapons out of their hands. And then we can maybe work out a deal. If we use our resources to help you fight these terrorists, we get the first bids at contracts to help you rebuild your country. And then maybe we can also get him to give up his power in 20 years. Maybe we could convince him to let those rebel forces that we do know that are from Syria, that are Syrian born and Syrian nationals, let them be a part of his government. Put them in the parliament. Give them 20 years to build up parties and learn democracy, learn how to use it effectively. And then after 20 years, give up power. That's a far shot. That's probably never going to happen. You're probably never going to see this. If I get enough friends to share it and they get enough people to share it and enough people share it, maybe you will see it. Maybe my friends won't agree with me. Maybe people will not, will not even give it a chance. But maybe it would work. Who's to know what's going to work unless we try it? Nobody else is giving you solutions. They're just telling you, hey, let's go bomb them. Let's put the military-industrial complex. Let's put it at work. Let's build some more bombs, sell some more planes. Let's see. We've been down that road. We've been doing it for 20 to 30 years. We haven't stopped since World War II, really. I don't know if I'm, making any sense to you, but at least it's an option. At least it's a situation that we can deal with. Maybe the rebels won't go for it. Maybe Assad doesn't want them in his government. If that's the case, we'll have to punish him for using chemical weapons. But let's not just be too hasty about it. Let's let the UN do their job, find out who used them, find out how they were used, and somehow we need to punish them for using them. But the worst case scenario is turning this into another Libya, where the terrorists run free and stockpile those weapons to be used all over Europe, all over the Middle East, maybe here in the US. Who knows what's going to happen, but I know that 2 years is too long to have innocent civilians just being killed. It's too bloody, and the world's stood by and let it go on for far too long. We live in a quick, upbeat, up-paced world nowadays, And there's no more excuses. We can't say, oh, we didn't really know the whole situation. We know the whole situation. So, Mr. President, it's your time to be presidential. Take this chance to do something and maybe spread peace by talking peace instead of bombing it. And for God's sakes, close Guantanamo already. It was supposed to be done a long time ago. The excuses are getting old. Let's get in there, close it down. If we're not going to try people or charge people, send them home. It's been too far and too long to keep that open. Hope you guys share this. Maybe it'll make a difference. Maybe it won't. Love y'all. Take care.